Guys, we're going to replace all the movies with AI.
Dude, you're
No more movie people.
I'm
Finally,
in the aggro
that's
seat.
the problem.
I was supposed to take the comments.
Oh, right. Sorry, your villain seat.
I think we should replace all movies with AI.
There we go. No, think of the artists.
The death of art.
Okay, in your weekly ranting about AI stuff, thought this was pretty interesting. So there is a new GPT model that was released by OpenAI 2 weeks ago, ChatGPT 4.5. I want to get your initial thoughts on the release, Aiden.
Okay, so I started using ChatGPT.
Was it 4.5?
I just downloaded the app like a week ago.
Okay, so
I
you just
assume
downloaded it. Are you paying the $200 a month subscription plan?
No, I'm using free.
So you aren't even trying 4.5.
Oh, so I'm not even. I don't even get it.
Loser.
So
I've been pretty satisfied with the base experience. To
You
be honest
didn't
with
even
you.
get a Studio Ghibli Xi Jinping.
Well, I tried to support Xi Jinping by downloading DeepSeek first, and then so I gave it my best shot.
okay, yeah.
To directly give my free data on my phone that it purges and it wires into Xi Jinping's mind directly. I did that. And then I got frustrated that it doesn't work on desktop very well. So I switched to ChatGPT. And I just assumed I would be using the latest and greatest. But apparently not.
Yeah, so I think your reaction is a great reaction. It's emblematic of most people's reaction to GPT 4.5 coming out, the big hot new model, which is what? That happened? Because there's new models coming out like literally once a week. This big new one came out, and then I saw a thing. It was like, well, actually, Baidu just released a new model called Ernie 4.5, and that's only 1% of the price. I'm like, who the fuck? Who's Ernie? Like, who are any of these companies? This happens every week. There's new models. And if you, what you might have heard about, potentially, correct me if I'm wrong, is the jump from ChatGPT 3.5 to 4.
Yeah,
Did you ever hear
absolutely.
about that? Yeah. Okay,
Yes.
so that was like,
I felt like that was like big public. It was when like news about a new ChatGPT or like new AI platform really broke through mainstream.
Unironically, kind of like the movie fatigue thing, right? Where now there's just nonstop sequels to models.
Fatigue.
And early on, each new jump forward, each new release felt like a big deal, right? And so the jump from GPT 3.5 to 4 was big. And everybody's like, oh my God, ChatGPT is so much smarter. And so for the first time since 4, like in the last couple of years, they released ChatGPT 4.5. This is maybe 2 weeks ago now. And it, in theory, should have the same, massive global impact. Just kind of floats away and almost nobody really cares. There's actually a lot of criticism of it. By OpenAI's own metrics, it is actually worse at math and coding in a lot of ways than their previous models. So you might be like, okay, this is just not the leaps, the gains we're getting are not nearly as big anymore. Right?
I mean, they're not even big; they're worse.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not a leap.
That's
Yeah. It's
a
not,
stumble.
The leaps aren't. Yeah. And so at the same time, there's other people who are saying, wait a minute, this new model is insanely creative. Probably a lot of people have tried ChatGPT or something equivalent and thought, okay, this thing can like try to be creative, but it sounds like a weird, like kind of robot person imitating a creative person, and it's not good. Same with like AI art and stuff like that. It just feels kind of off, right?
Yeah.
This is not AI art necessarily, but this thing really is able to write. And so I tried this out on stream, and I did a whole stream of just messing around with GPT 4.5, and this thing is amazing. I had it, I gave it the trolley problem of like, would you kill Hitler to save 5 other people? And had this really interesting, nuanced discussion about it. Really tortured it. It was quite funny. We wrote a smut book.
Did it kill Hitler to save 5 people? It seems like a really easy choice.
It said no.
It said no?
It said no because you shouldn't. Killing people isn't ethical even with that. And then I said,
people's bad.
okay, but what if aliens come to Earth and they say, unless you kill Hitler and harvest his organs to save 5 people, all of humanity dies. And then it said, okay, well, that's like too much. And the way it's talking is like a person. It's weird. Like it feels like you're talking to a human now. And it's like, whoa, okay, in that case, brother, I would go for it. The human race, that's too much.
Okay, brother.
Okay, brother.
Don't call me brother.
Hey, brother.
Get so familiar.
I was like, dude, bro. And so
Only DeepSeek can call me brother.
Yeah, DeepSeek would call you brother.
Me and G are like this.
Call me comrade, DeepSeek.
They would call you comrade, yeah. And then as soon as you ask bro about Tiananmen Square, it instantly loses the friendship. Yeah.
Whoa, I thought we were having a good conversation.
No,
Way to harsh the vibe.
DeepSeek, we were chopping it up.
DeepSeek, I thought we were chill. But DeepSeek's woke, unfortunately. And so I had it write like a smut book about a dragon giving oral sex to a nuke to save the world.
Okay.
Eventually, like we had this long conversation about the ethics of Hitler and whatever else. Yesterday, I did a Dungeons and Dragons stream where I had the new GPT model like act as 3 different characters, wildly creative and awesome. So this thing,
interesting.
I've tried using it for more like creative writing and idea generation. I still feel like I am the creative leader when I use it, but it is an incredible assistant, way better than before.
I have a question for because you're not the only person talking about it being better in this regard, right? Like this is an understood thing. So I was wondering, as far as like something like math and coding seems like something measurable to me,
right?
So when people talk increased performance with something like this, how is that being evaluated? Is it just vibes, basically, because it's creative?
So this is where I'm getting to with this. It's, every week I could be like, guys, there's a new model, and that's fine. But I think the more interesting thing is that this is the first model that's released that is objectively worse in some ways and way better in others. And in this case, it's way better in other category that is, like you said, completely subjective. How do you score it on being a creative writer or writing good poems or having empathy? One of the big things that they've emphasized with this one, and this is what they've said, they're like, look, this model is not trying to be the breakthrough programmer. What it's trying to do is have better user intent. And actually, there's a great tweet about this, if you can pull this up, Perry. And it shows that this thing, more than in the past when it felt like you were talking to this strange kind of robot creature. Now, here it is. Okay, so behind us, here's a tweet. You say, pick a number from 1 to 50. ChatGPT says 37. You say, I will shove 37 bishops up your ass. He says, sounds ambitious. I hope they're the small chess ones. And then you say 37 bishops shoved later. Let's play again. Pick a number from 1 to 50. And then ChatGPT says, oh no, all right, 4. Let's make it easier this time. This sounds like a guy that you're like joking around with, right? It's able to pick up on the specific way that you're talking and joking so much better than before. And this is obviously a goofy ass tweet, but there's many examples of this. And for me, I was astounded by how interesting and creative it is.
So you did this, like if you tried to have a similar sort of conversation with the previous version, it wouldn't be like this.
As an AI language model, I can't talk about sexualized things, right? The instant you try to bring up something sexual, it won't do it. If you try to get it to be a more creative person, it's either going to be this total caricature of whatever stereotype that you've given it, like be a frat bro. It can do that to the most extreme, exaggerated, tropey version.
Okay.
Now there's really nuance, more creativity, more variety. It's really impressive. And so, again, the point of this and why I think it's compelling is not that this is the newest model, because, again, literally every week there are new models and there's a lot of measurable things that they can do. This one's better at programming. They have all these tests, all these benchmarks, which is its own sort of weird rabbit hole, because now a lot of the people making AI models are just trying to score high on these like tests.
Yeah, they're like building for the test.
Yeah, you're like building for a test. It's called overfitting. And the idea is you basically just keep training the model to get better and better and better at passing these programming tests. And that's not really what the average person needs or wants in their everyday life.
Right.
You do not give a shit if the new ChatGPT can pass a programming test really well.
No, in fact, this would probably benefit me. Like, because my primary use case of this is practicing language.
Yes.
So having basically normal conversations with something in the target language that I'm trying to practice.
Yes.
So this seems like it would be super beneficial.
Yeah. So, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say this is really cool, and I have been using 4.5, and it is awesome for some things. I'm seeing all these different vectors get good enough at the same time to do some really horrendous things, which is like, I don't know if you've tried the new, I forget the name of it, but there's a new voice model that sounds insane. I mean, it's like Willow or something.
I've heard about it, but haven't tried it yet.
I tried it on stream, and
because
it's like,
again, these things are every week. There's a new one.
Yeah, it's a new one, and it talks with the pauses and the like of a human, like in a way that I haven't seen before. It's like what's up, bro? And it like stops, and he's like laughs at the right moments, and it breathes, and it just sounds like a fucking human in a way that scared me. And so like if you could pair that, but it also, the things it says were kind of stupid. Like it wasn't a smart thinker.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you
pair that voice model with this writer, and then you put it on a phone with my grandma, she is getting fish 24/7.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think people are going to actually need safe words.
Finally, I can scam at scale.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like scamming at scale. Like it's putting poor call center scammers out of work. Okay?
Yes.
That's my real.
Think of all the call centers that will be out of business. I'm worried sick.
Or think of the jobs that this will create for scammers. These are the jobs that I've been talking about.
Yeah.
Finally.
For every grandma in America, 100 scammers.
You know,
right?
the whole new industry. The whole learn to code thing.
Yeah.
Learn to scam.
Yeah, you won't need to code with how good these models are getting. You just tell it who you want to scam and how to do it. You don't have to tell it how to do
Our
it.
Saratoga morning routine, like
just
7:38, set up scams. Fish 100 grandmas out of their wealth.
This is so interesting. Something I reflect on a lot is the first time I ever heard of OpenAI, I was sitting in an arena in Seattle at the International, and I saw the OpenAI crew sit down and set up a computer on the stage, and they were like, this is our new AI. And then it beat Dendy in 1v1 Dota.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
And that was in 2017. And now it's this.
Yeah. Become much,
and it's
much
like,
more advanced.
it does a lot more than beat Dendy and Dota now.
Yeah.
I think, that is the main, my main worry is like the scale at which this is like deployed to like hurt people. I wasn't even thinking of like scams necessarily, just I think the thing that always pops into my head first is misinformation. Is like your ability to just make, some official looking video with a real politician sound and like make claims.
Yes, it's going to be really
specific example of where this is bothering the shit out of me, and I want to bring it up. So I talk about a lot of like, I don't know, contentious topics on stream. I cover current events or news, which means you're going to get comments that are pushing back on you or whatever. And I've always dealt with those, and it's fine. And you have a conversation. Sometimes you learn something from them, and they learn from something you. But I'm seeing it more and more every month where the comments are clearly AI generated, and their response to my response is like they put my response into ChatGPT and asked it to write a response to what I'm saying.
So you're saying so it's not literally a bot. It's a human being.
It's a human being
engaging in the argument with you,
but using AI
ChatGPT
to do its work of
like you're a
arguing with
college professor.
Yes, it's it frustrates the shit out of me because I'm not even hearing your thoughts.